turn it up real quick for everybody else so they can be on the same page.
Let's go. Let's get it. 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 Let's go.
Hey, everybody. With that said, welcome to Fran and Friends Podcast on Spotify. I have a wonderful guest with me today. And you see that the name of our topic today is Authentic AF. I could say the whole thing, but I'm going to be nice today. So Coach K, she's a personal transformation coach. She is an author. The book is called From Havoc to Help Me.
Healing. From havoc to healing.
Havoc
Every
to
day,
healing.
reconditioning, baby. Don't worry, you good, sis.
From Havoc to Healing. She also has 2 podcasts. One of them is called Upgraded Mindsets, and then she just released one for women in business. And Coach K, could you share with us the name of that one?
Yep, it is The Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. The other podcast is actually Empowering Real Talk, but it is on the Upgraded Mindsets podcast channel. So you good?
Oh my God.
That's
All
good.
right, y'all. So this is what we do in social media land.
Hey, when you live and uncut, that's what happens, baby, and it's all good. It's all good.
All this time I've been calling your podcast Upgraded Mindsets.
But that's that's the name of my business. That's the name of my organization. And that's what everybody knows as, because that's what I'm doing. I'm upgrading minds, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through podcasting, whether it's through. So, baby, trust me when I tell you, I am not offended at all, sis.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Coach K. I appreciate the grace as it is definitely needed when dealing with me.
What you say, and is needed.
It's needed.
It's all good. I just appreciate you having me tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem. And love the hair, by the way, because it is looking fly.
Thank you. Shout out to my stylist, Shonda B here in Peoria, Illinois. Thank you.
Okay. So, Coach K, I asked you to give me 3 talking points, and one of them we talk about the uncomfortable shift of personal transformation mindset.
Mm-hmm.
What is that for those that are just coming into this space? Because I had a conversation on TikTok with this one lady that said, "Oh, I'm just now on my healing journey."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know what stage you in."
It's rough. It's so many different levels, right? And that's just with one person. Mm-hmm. When someone says that they're beginning the healing journey, you still really don't know what part they're on. It can be them realizing that they need some healing. It could be that they have sought therapeutic intervention. It could be that they're in the accountability phase. There's just so many different levels, right? But I applaud anybody that actually is taking that step and acknowledging that there is a journey ahead, because there are some of us who don't feel like we need to heal, that we don't need to transform and upgrade our minds. And I am here to tell you, every one of us has room for some form of growth, transformation, shifting, everything. And I want us to be a world that understands that, because that's going to make it flow so much easier for us,
Yeah. So for the people that really don't, or cannot identify that they have things that they need to deal with, what might some of those behaviors look like?
Well, I'll say for me personally, I was angry all the time, right? Mm-hmm. I was an angry person. Now, I was a helpful person. I was a supportive person. I had everybody's back, but I would get so easily triggered at the smallest thing. If somebody said something wrong, I'm snapping out, right? Mm-hmm. If somebody left a piece of paper on the floor, I'm snapping out. And what I found, amongst other things, is those are triggers, because you're angry, me. And like I said, I'm totally transparent in my journey. So what I found is me being angry is because I was not satisfied with my life as a whole. Um,
Mm.
I've gone through a lot of things, from cancer, losing my sister, acquiring her two children, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But because we have depicted this strong woman stigma in society, that strong woman stigma prevented me from being vulnerable and saying, I need help. I want support. Right. And although I was doing these things, I was mad as hell all the time. I'd smile, but I was not fulfilled. And I was
Mm.
not living my life how I truly wanted to live my life. So if you are somebody that is easily triggered, if somebody say something wrong, you ready to go off the deep end. If you are somebody that is looking at somebody else with serious envy because you see they are truly living their best life,
Mm.
those are self-reflective moments that we need to really say, you know what, things ain't right with me. And again, everybody doesn't necessarily require therapy, although I recommend it personally. But that me saying that does not mean, oh, you're crazy, you need to go get help. What it means is you are ready to extend your quality of life by holistically becoming a better version of yourself. And that's what I was ready to do for me. And in 2020 was that pivotal moment for me. I was so angry in March of 2020, which was about 4 years ago. Now, we were all on lockdown. You know what I'm saying? Like the lockdown had began, and at a time when we were so uncertain, I was cracking at the seams.
Mm.
And
What
that
did that
was
look
just
like?
yeah, that was just the topper for me. So I decided that it was time for me to acknowledge that I had a problem. Something was going on with me that I needed to address. I never properly grieved, like the death of my sister. I never properly grieved my grandmother, and she passed in 1997, but that's who raised me. So those things I never properly grieved. And these are things that I found out now, right? So when people say, oh, I'm strong, I'm going to get through it, I'm not saying that you're not, but you need some supportive measures to do it effectively.
I was going to ask you about that strongman stigma, because I believe on your podcast we talked about that, and
Yes.
how, people will come by and say, "Oh, girl, you so strong," and I'm like, I thought that was a badge of honor, and
Yeah.
now I'm like,
I
fuck
don't
that.
wear it as that. Don't call me strong. Don't call me strong, because what
Right.
society has depicted for us is when we classify ourselves as a strong woman, then that's telling everybody else that we don't want help or need
Mhm.
help. And the
Yeah.
first thing somebody will say is, she's strong, she got it.
Right.
No, I ain't strong and I ain't got it. Now, what I have redefined myself is a woman of strength, because a
Mm.
woman of strength is it's a different meaning.
Talk
It
about that.
means that yes, I am still capable of picking myself up and doing what I need to do through life's obstacles and challenges. But it also means that I'm vulnerable enough to say, hey, I need help. I want to be supported. I need somebody to give me that encouragement that I'm giving somebody else. We all want to be supported. If
Yeah.
you're telling yourself, oh, I don't want to be supported, I don't need nobody to support me, that is a blatant lie. And I'm just going to call it for what it is. We all need that. It all helps us thrive, and that's why I define myself as a woman of strength, because a woman of strength is also vulnerable, is also can be soft, but also can be dominant. I'm a woman of strength because I'm versatile and I love it for myself. I am all about versatility when it comes to empowering my growth.
With the strong woman label, I think also too, like creates this um it creates this blockage for us to not just to say that we don't need any help, but
Mhm.
also from us even expressing.
That part. Yep. It is. We don't express it. We suppress. I suppressed emotions for years. And you know what? I was angry. That was the only emotion that I would show, because that it was going to come out. Here's what I
Mm.
need people to get. Your emotions are going to come out one way or another. Whether you think you're holding things in, I thought I was holding my emotions in too. I would smile from time to time and
Right.
have a good time, but inside, when I'm laying across my bed at night, my mind is racing full of negative thoughts because I wasn't fulfilled in my life. I wasn't doing what it is that I was destined to do,
Right.
because you couldn't have told me 5 years ago that I'd be an entrepreneur. I was working in full time. Corporate America had no desire to be an entrepreneur, an author, none of that, a coach, none of that. But because I began that journey, it opened that door because that clarity sunk in, that purpose planning
Mm.
started coming out. What was my purpose in life? And I know a lot of us don't really want to touch on that
Mhm.
because we're scared of what is in store for us. We're fearful of failure, fearful of not, doing what it is that we want to do. But I was tired of being scared and I was tired of living unsatisfied.
Coach K, for real, that clarity will eliminate a lot of the confusion
Absolutely.
that we have in our lives. Like the BS that we normally, quote unquote, would deal with
Yep.
would definitely, oh, okay, well, this is my new non negotiable. You out.
Yeah. Them
And
boundaries got to be set. They
right.
got to be set. Like, and sometimes we accept things because we don't want to lose people.
Hmm.
And this, for like domestic relationships, family, friends, we don't want to lose these people.
It's that
But
emotional tie, right, coach?
it is definitely emotional tie, soul tie, whatever it is that you want to call it. But it is a tie, baby. And it is a
A
tie
cute
that
tie.
needs to be broken because it's necessary. Why
Yeah.
are you continuously hindering yourself for somebody else?
Mm.
Especially somebody that don't want to grow, somebody that doesn't see any error of their ways. If you're on a growth journey and somebody is around you like, I don't need to grow, I don't need to grow, I'm gonna tell you right now, you will eventually fall off from that person, or you gonna stay stuck with them. It's one of the two options. There is
Oh
no
my
in between.
goodness. I was gonna say, like, there's something that I asked my mom because I was stuck in a situationship last year.
Hmm.
And then for 6 months, I was in that thing. And I ended up asking my mom, I was like, oh, mom, I noticed this person has the same behavior as, she probably gonna hate me right now, as your husband. I asked my mom, and she probably gonna kill me for this too. I said,
Hey.
Mom, if you had an opportunity to go back and change the decision that you made, either to stay married or stay single, what would that be? What would you choose? And with the quickness, she said that she would stay single,
Mm.
and that broke my heart for a couple of reasons. Um, you talked about happiness
Yeah.
and being true to self, and I wanted to stay in that space that I called happy because I found myself unhappy in that situation.
Yeah.
So once I realized, oh, these two situations are the same, I got to cut this off because 20 years from now, I could be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I don't want that. Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, it's facts, and these are the uncomfortable conversations that we have to have with ourselves, but
Oh,
also the uncomfortable conversations that we need to have with each other. Just like I love that we're talking about it right now because I can guarantee you somebody is gonna see this and be like, "Ooh, they talking about me. How they know about me? How they talking about me?
that,
Like, you know what I'm saying?"
yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's facts.
Going back to your to 2020 when you said you started this journey, what was that thing that pushed you over?
Honestly, the pandemic.
Okay.
Because at that time, now I'm be honest, I don't think the same way as I did in 2020 when it comes to the pandemic, but that's a whole nother episode.
Okay.
But at that time we were just uncertain about so much, right? We didn't
Mhm.
know what was going on. They were plastering it all over TV all day, every day, 24/7. So we didn't know if we was gonna live or not, and I think just with everything else suppressed emotion wise,
Mhm.
that was the breaking point for me. Now, I'll say that because I ended up taking a detox from social media in April of 2020.
That's what I was
I
going to ask you. Was it
Yes,
because of like now you didn't have anybody that you could connect with physically? You now had to deal with the things that you've been putting off
yeah.
because of the distractions were no longer around you.
Yep. and all of that just factored in together. And I
Mm,
think that what was happening is because months before I had been like thinking about stuff, but I would always put it in the back of my mind because I was deflecting on my own life by
mhm,
doing for everybody else, right? So I don't hold anything against what I've done for anybody else because I made those choices. But
mhm.
I found that it was a huge deflection of me saying, I know that I need to get things together with me, but I'm too busy doing for everybody else. So I don't got time for me. How many times have us women said that? I don't got time for me. I don't got time for me. We got kids, we got families, we got this. And I was in that realm. I don't got
Coach,
time.
what
Yeah.
about this thing that we also say that, oh yeah, I just love helping people, girl. I ain't got time for myself.
Yes. I still hear that from women to this day. And that is exactly, I'm like, hey, we need to have a conversation. We need to have a conversation because you always have time for yourself. You make time for
Yeah,
yourself because what we do, how are you pouring into somebody empty? What are you truly giving them? Or you might have a little cup this full and you done gave it to somebody else and now you empty.
that
We
part.
I have had dozens of conversations over the years just from women who tell me that they spend their day being a supportive factor to others, and then when they get home, they are across their bed crying their eyes out because they are drained, they are
Mm.
stressed, frustrated, they're tired. They want to stop doing that, but they don't have the strength to just simply say no.
I'm so glad that you said that. That being drained of your own energy, and you pouring out to others looks like being tired.
Mhm.
You're crying at nighttime. What other emotions are associated with that?
Just the frustration itself, the
Mm,
anger. Again, like I said, the anger was my main emotion.
mm.
And I'm not an angry person. Now, I might be a little loud and I love to have fun, but I'm not an angry person. And I knew I wasn't angry because how can I be an angry person when all I want to do is help people? When all I want to do is be supportive to people?
Mm,
Angry people don't want that. But
mm,
that was the only emotion that was coming out
mm,
because I was suppressing everything else, suppressing the vulnerabilities, I'll say. I was suppressing my vulnerable side because I didn't want
mm,
nobody to see that. Again, go back to that strong woman stigma
mm,
that society expects from us. And I still see it to this day. People are like, strong women do this, but strong women ask for help. And
mm.
I don't see that being, portrayed.
Yeah,
You get up and handle it anyway. You need help. You want help.
yeah. Because some women's like, oh, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to ask
Yeah.
them because they already got too many things going on.
Yep.
And I used to get mad about that because I really enjoyed holding on to that label, but
Mhm.
not really knowing that that not saying anything doesn't make you strong.
Yeah.
Not trying to do everything by yourself doesn't make you strong. Being open and vulnerable and telling people that you're struggling,
Yeah.
that is what makes you strong because
Come on.
yeah, because now you have this opening here where you can see like, hey, that facade that you see me carrying all these years, it's not real, but I use it as a crutch when I need it every now and then to kind of push myself up. But
Absolutely.
I need some help.
I need some help. And I need continual help, consistent help. I need
Yeah.
support, because help includes support. Help includes somebody reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, are you okay?
Right.
Hey, how you feeling today?" Those words matter, and people are like, "Oh, it's just somebody asking me how I'm doing." But when is the last time somebody asked you how you was doing?
Mm,
I've talked to women where they be like, "Ain't nobody ever asked me how I'm doing." Exactly. That is frustration building up because nobody has ever asked you that. But
mm,
you fixing your mouth to ask somebody every other day, you shooting a text message, "Hey, I'm checking on you. How you feeling?" If you're not getting that back, yeah, eventually it's gonna make you pissed off because you're like, "Man, I'm tired of pouring into others and nobody is pouring into me." It
mm,
definitely has to be a two-way street. It has to be all the time. And you have to find your tribe that is willing to make that two-way street easier for you. You can't force anybody to be who you want them to be, just like nobody can force you to be who they want you to be. It's just that simple. If you're not getting that, then find somebody that's going to give it to you.
Mm. And what does a supportive tribe look like?
For me, it's supportive tribe. I have different tribes, right? So I have my friends, of course, I have my family, of course, but I also have a tribe of coaches. I also have a tribe of entrepreneurs. I have a tribe of podcasters. I've built a community over the 3.5 years that I have been on this entrepreneur journey,
Mm,
because I understand that everybody is not going to understand every level of the journey.
that's
So what
good.
did I do? I found tribes in those different realms. I have a coaches community. It's about 4 of us. And when I tell you we are like this, I
Mm,
can talk to them about anything when it comes to just like personal wise. And we laugh and talk smack. And we might even, talk smack about somebody else's thing or something, just those type of things, normal conversation, right? With my family, they definitely understand because I had that conversation with them. I set major boundaries with my family, and
mm,
it wasn't received in the beginning very well. But one of the things that we have to understand on these transformational journeys is it is going to be uncomfortable,
mm.
super uncomfortable,
That leads
super.
me. Mm. What's no, because you're going right into like the mindset that I wanted to talk about because
Hmm.
the super uncomfortability, that is the most difficult part in the journey of transformation. Really staying firm to the boundaries of what we want to see changed in our own lives.
Ooh, standing on them, baby. That is the hardest thing, because what we don't want to do is hurt somebody else's feelings. Oh, if I do this, if I say no, it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. Or if I tell them that I'm unavailable, it's going to hurt their feelings. And listen, when you are used to being a people pleaser,
Right.
because that's what it is, when you're used to being a people pleaser, when you are making that shift away from that, yes, you are going to make people mad because they no longer have full access to you being upset and angry all the time. They
Ooh.
don't have that access. So, yes. So, what I had to do was mentally prepare for that uncomfortable shift that involved me saying no, that involved me setting boundaries, that
You
involved me just overall people saying I'm a mean person. To this day, people will say, oh, she stopped. Yep. And I did. And really, I don't care what you say, because I am sleeping very well at night. I am following my purpose, creating my legacy. It's about me. And now, because I have made it about me, I am mentally able to pour into others effectively.
Coach K,
And
you got to
that's what
talk about that. You got to talk about like you getting mentally ready, what that looks like, because a lot of people have not been given the tools
mhm.
on what conflict resolution is.
Yeah.
So, to help them get to that preparation, what is one or two tips that they can use in order for them to get ready for this conflict? Because they can't avoid it.
No, it can't.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we have to realize, is coming to the realization, hey, I can't control everything.
Mm,
Because I was a person that wanted to have control of everything. I wanted to set the times, the dates, when we were leaving, when we were coming back, how we were doing things. Like, I made plans. I overexerted myself so much because I always wanted to be in control.
mm.
But what that was doing was draining me mentally. So it really just involves what I call energy zappers, right?
Oh,
And this is something that my clients do in the beginning of, our journey together, is you're writing down everything that drains you mentally,
mm.
everything that frustrates you, everything that has you like where you ready to fight. Because let me tell y'all something, I still got that in me, but because I have the tools and strategies in place, I know how to keep her tame.
Coach, it's not just everything, but people are included in that everything too, huh?
Absolutely.
Woo,
Absolutely. And
say that.
and just putting down your energy zappers. I recommend
Mm.
5 to 10. You might have 20, because as I did my zappers in 2020, I had probably like 35 things that drained me. It wasn't just
Ooh.
necessarily people, but it was actions that I had. It was
Mm,
habits that I had acquired. They
mm.
were draining me. And then what I did is I turned around and wrote another list of what inspired me, what
Ah, I like
uplifted
that.
me, like what helped me. It could have been something as simple as a YouTube video. It could have been something as simple as a quote that was like, oh my God. Like, so it really involves us being able to put our journey on paper. My
Mm,
clients have the task when they first start working with me is writing a letter to themselves, right? A
yeah.
letter to themselves is just them pouring everything out. However far they decide to go back, they have the option to give it to me or they have the option to keep it for themselves. I don't require it to be given to me because that letter to self is putting all your accountability on paper because you are ready to go to the next level. So if
Mm,
I could get two tips, I would just say your energy zappers,
yeah.
write them down because putting everything on black and white, baby, that is a level of accountability that is going to make you say, hell no, I'm tired of this. It's time because I'm not going to keep looking at this. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
putting it on paper and then also with the letter to self, putting it on paper, going back and reading that. I put my thing on paper and I didn't even put everything, y'all, but I turned around. I had 6 pages. 6 pages of just stuff that had been built up in my mind because when you keep this cluttered, you are not going to be effective in anything that you're doing. Yeah, you're going to keep day-to-day life, but it's time to build legacies for ourselves. It's time
Man,
to create the vision that we thought that was unachievable, that we thought was impossible. Anybody and everybody is capable of activating their best life. You just got to be ready to do the work to get there.
man, y'all, those were some powerful keys. Coach K said, your zappers, write them down, whatever
Write
they
them
look
down.
like. And then also don't forget
Right.
that inspire you.
That part. Because you're gonna need that. Like you gonna need them inspirations. Like if it's a YouTube playlist, you know what I'm saying? I have
Yeah.
probably 10 playlists of different motivational things. And now I'm sorry, I'm meticulous like that, but I have like coaching motivational playlists.
Okay.
I have spiritual, meditation, mindful, a little bit of hood still because you can take me out the hood but you can't take the
We
hood out
take
of
the
me,
hood
all
out.
right?
Yeah.
So like I have my balance. I have
Mm,
my balance, and that's what it's about. You have to create your balance is not going to look the same as my balance, you
totally.
know
Because we all at
as
different
you
stages,
shift.
right?
Yeah, as you shift, you're going to see the differences. Habits that you might have been doing for years, you're going to be like, like that really no more. You
That part.
know, it's a default. You was in a default mode, but now that you're activating your growth mindset, hey, you're going to do things differently.
Mm,
You going to, and it's going to be a struggle because you're going to be like, man, I don't know. I've been doing this for so long. Just because you've been doing something for 20 years does not mean that you're supposed to do it for 20 more years. We
doesn't mean that
all
it's the
have
right thing, right?
Hey, every time we all have room for growth. It's so important to acknowledge that. Do that inner work. That inner work is required from every one of us.
Mm,
And if the past 4 years have not shown us that, then I don't know what rock you living under, but we in a season of self-discovery, self-transformation, and really stepping into our most empowering version of who we are supposed to be
mm,
because we all are capable.
mm. Coach, oof. Girl, we could go like so many ways with this
You
right
are.
here. I was gonna ask you about your playlist because like maybe some people on here um are trying to find what that tribe looks like for them as far as like, hey, maybe they want to listen to some Jim Rohn
Yeah.
or some what's her name? What's her Abraham Hicks.
Yeah,
Are
she's
there
definitely in my playlist.
okay, okay.
She's definitely in my playlist. Mel Robbins,
Oh yeah.
she's definitely in my playlist.
Hmm.
It just really depends on what level of the journey you are on,
Okay.
right? Even
So
if you're
for a
on,
beginner.
yeah. So, like for a beginner, I just recommend type because the thing I love about YouTube now is they're really a Google in a sense,
Ah,
right? They are a search engine.
mhm,
So if we look at YouTube as just a video channel, but YouTube is a search engine. So just like we type in stuff for Google, you
mhm,
do the same thing for YouTube. So if you're looking for spiritual growth videos, that's exactly what you type in, and you just start getting a feel of one. Some might be 10 minutes long, some might be 2 hours long. I go to sleep listening to meditation, my meditation playlist. It helps me sleep better at night.
mhm.
Some days I might listen to a voice talking. Some days I might actually just listen to the music. Some days I might just listen to the water play, while through all night. So it just really depends. So I just recommend typing in to your YouTube search bar, just
Mhm.
like you do your Google search bar, and create your feed, your news feed, because just like social media, that's exactly what YouTube gonna go.
The
If it see you
algorithms, right?
typing in, absolutely. If it see what you typing in, it's going to start showing you those things, and then just start creating a playlist. Oh, I like this. I even have my exercise playlist. Roberta's Gym is one of the platforms that I use for big girls, because I'm not finna sit here and tell y'all that I'm gonna exercise for 2 hours and that I can do 800 jumping jacks. I can't, and I ain't gonna act like it.
Coach,
But
you said a workout list, and my face went. I'm like,
hey, I'm telling you. But like even my workout list, some of them are only 10 minutes long. You know what
mm,
I'm saying? One thing that I have learned is I'm not going to overexert, and I'm
mm,
not going to put these huge expectations on me. I will start off small. That's one tip I will tell y'all too. Start off small. Start the small goals. You might have a big goal, but celebrate the journey to get there.
mm.
So if you have a goal to lose 40 pounds in 6 months, right? Because we're being realistic with ourselves, people. We're not going to lose 40 pounds in a month. We're not doing that. But if you have a goal to lose 40 pounds, hey, if you hit the first 10, baby, you better celebrate like you accomplished that whole goal. You feel me? Because that is going to keep you motivated on continuing. But if all you focus on, you lost 10 pounds, but you don't celebrate that and you still focused on that other 30 that you got, that's going to be a distraction and a deterrence. And it's going to say, you know what, I ain't getting there fast enough. When in all actuality, you should celebrate because you just lost 10 pounds.
Mm.
It's all about this shifting this mind to understand that every win is a win, no matter big or small.
No,
It's a win.
totally. Totally. I think one of the things, like for myself, I don't know about people that are watching, is I do forget to celebrate those
Yes.
small areas because when we really think about it, like you said, Coach, like these little wins, they accumulate to
And they
something bigger.
do. And
Yeah,
they do.
yeah, and we don't realize that there is a joy that comes
Mhm.
from celebrating yourself. Not only you begin to
Absolutely.
celebrate it right on a more larger scale. Because I remember like when I used to get like some kind of accolade or something, and I would tell my best friend, I'm like, oh, I got this, and she's like, oh my god, girl, that's so great, and I'm like looking at her like, cool,
Right. Like, girl, why are you so happy? Like, yeah,
yeah, I'm like
yeah, downplaying it,
that.
downplaying that. Yep. Definitely downplaying it. And so it's and that again, that is all about the mindset, because the mindset has you programmed to just focus on the end goal.
The task,
But
right?
yep. But in all actuality, you got 6 mini tasks within that end goal
Mm,
that you done completely overlooked and completely said, you know what, I ain't even thinking about them because I'm still just trying to focus on this one.
right.
So and by understanding that and saying, because that's how it is with me, because let me tell you something, I celebrate myself every day now. I'm to the point now, every day I could be in a rearview mirror at a stoplight and I'd be like, girl, look at them eyebrows, come on, sis. Hey, you got 3 things, you got 3 of your 5 tasks done today. I'm even celebrating that. I can have 5 tasks assigned for the day. If I only accomplish 3, I still accomplished 3.
Mm,
Instead
mm.
of saying I ain't get all 5 done and being mad, I accomplished 3. So, hey, these two will roll over to the next day, but I will hold myself accountable now. I don't just allow that to constantly go on, but I have tips in place to help me with that. Like a tip that I will say, as a full-time entrepreneur, I have a very overactive mind. So I'm thinking about 20 things, especially when I first wake up in the morning, right? My mind is on fire.
Right.
So I have to have a task list. So what I do is I will work on something for like an hour and then I will go to something else. Because what happens is if I stay focused on it, I will get distracted. I'll grab
Mm.
my phone, I'll get to getting on social media, or something like that. Now, in a portion of my, entrepreneurial duties is on social media. So I do need to be on social media as a business owner, but I also operate over a dozen social media pages for my clients as well. So I do spend time on social media, but if it's not planned for me to be on social media, I'm not going to be on social media. And I'm very disciplined, for the most part. You know
I
what I'm
was gonna say
saying?
Coach K because I'm still
Hey,
working.
I ain't gonna
I'm
sit
still
here and
working
tell
on that
y'all I'm
part.
perfect with that because I'm not. I'm not, but just being able to know that I have that plan, and it's okay. I don't beat myself up when I find myself, but what my mind does after about
Mm.
5 or 10 minutes, if I'm caught in the scroll, my mind triggers like, girl, this ain't what you're supposed to be doing.
Ooh,
This
good.
ain't what you're supposed to be doing. And instead of me defying my mind, you right, mind. Let me go and put this phone. So like here in my office, I will set my phone in the other room,
Oh, that's
right?
good.
To keep it away from me because I
Yes.
can get on my computer and get on social media, but we know being on our phone is more of a thrill looking at social media than being on a desktop or a laptop. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
We know
Yeah.
that. So just having strategies in place for everything, y'all, is super important, but you have to build yourself up there. I don't want people to feel like me saying all of this and now tomorrow you just got to get everything in order. It's going to take a minute for you to get there. That's why it's called a journey. But I say it, this is my tagline. The journey is necessary.
I was
It's
gonna say,
necessary.
Coach, if you could, because I really love that line when you go on your website, because these conversations are necessary.
Absolutely.
And yeah, progress. It is progress, Missy. I wanted to touch base back on the uncomfortable shift for people.
Hmm.
Because I feel like going back to like people not really knowing what their tools
Yeah.
are there other resources that they can also identify whether they're being triggered or not?
Um, I think it really starts from inside, right? We spend so much time looking for outside validation
Ooh.
that a lot of times we really know what's sending us off, but because we want other people to change, we blame it on them, right?
Mm,
So like prime example, I'll say, "Oh, I want this person to get their life together and I want them to do this and do that." But 6 months from now, I'm still saying that same story, but I'm allowing it to affect me because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm too busy fussing at them for getting their stuff together.
mm,
So that is an accountability thing. The one thing I will say is accountability is your number one priority. Getting accountable that you have not walked in your fulfillment yet, accepting the fact that things have happened to you,
mm,
um sometimes even out beyond your control, and I'm not speaking on like rapes and stuff like that because those things, but you do need to seek treatment, seek
yeah,
help, seek
yeah,
support,
yeah,
something to that level, because I cannot tell you, everybody has experienced some form of trauma in our life,
absolutely.
every single one of us. So, in order for us to be able to overcome that trauma and live fulfilling lives, you are going to have to go sit at the table and
Mm,
find out what it is that is going to work for you.
mm,
Working with me, I have what I call purpose planning. sessions. That's one of the first 2 sessions that you have with me.
What does that look like?
So purpose planning is us really breaking down, like, all right, what's going on? Because I, as a coach, I don't portray to be a therapist.
Mm.
Although I am on my doctoral journey, I'm not there yet. So I am very, very adamant
Celebrating
about
you.
keeping that separation. Thank you, sis. Thank you. But I'm very adamant about keeping that separate. If I feel like you need therapeutic intervention, I'm going to tell you. I'm
Mm.
going to tell you these are things that I'm not comfortable, but I can be that support system while you do. I have a client that did end up making a therapy session and wanted me to be there.
Mm.
Absolutely. I will be there with you.
Oh, dang, you do that
Absolutely.
supportive work too?
I will do the supportive work with you because,
Okay.
again, I'm helping you with your future.
Mm.
So if I have a therapist that's willing to allow me in that space and
Mhm.
be able to, because they're also giving them tasks, but I'm giving you tasks to help you from the personal development standpoint,
Mm.
not the therapeutic standpoint.
Wow, that's
So
beautiful.
putting those together is super powerful, but it
Mm.
also is going to be more effective. So just being able to acknowledge that that there's work to do and
Mhm.
what that looks like for you. Catch a couple books, read a couple books, listen to a couple audiobooks. We are seeing, hey, you can Google, you can even search on TikTok and go from there if you're a TikTok person, if you're
Mhm.
an IG person. Facebook, yeah, it is what it is with Facebook, and I love Facebook because majority of my clients have come from Facebook. I'm just gonna be real because that has been my platform from day one.
Okay.
But just being able to say, typing in something that I know I'm experiencing at that moment, right? If you are experiencing any type of negative thought, negative emotion, and you can't put a cap on it,
Mm.
there's some room for self-reflection. What is it that has you in that negative emotion? What is it that is keeping you in that negative emotion? Because I ain't gonna tell y'all that I don't have negative emotions. I ain't gonna tell y'all that I don't still get mad, but I know now that I need to put strategies in place. So instead of hitting this brick wall behind me and not being able to keep going, I can just bounce off a rubber wall and refocus, reshift, realign, however it is that I need to do.
Earlier, you mentioned something about, if we're telling ourselves the same stories, right? You
Yes.
said, oh, if you're still telling yourself that same story 6 months, or if we've had this conversation already for 6 months,
Mhm.
at what point, like for somebody that's trying to create their own boundaries, do they say, hey, you've been talking about this for like a year or 5 years? Like, what should they use for their own cap to be like, I can't have this anymore because this is the journey I'm on? I'm gonna need you to check yourself. How do you say that in a way that is helpful?
Um, I mean, you can sit here and try to be nice about it, but when you're setting boundaries, I don't care how nice you said. If somebody is pissed off about it, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
You can sit here and say, "Your Majesty, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be able to help you anymore. Oh my God, but I love you." And they are not going to hear how you said it. It's what you said. And you said that you're not going to be able to help them anymore. You're not going to be able to listen to them anymore. And that's all they're going to hear. So sometimes you're going to have that sternness, to say, you know what? Hey, I can't do this no more. I
Mm.
can't. I'm on this journey. I really would love for you to take this journey with me. Let's be accountability partners. Give them the option. But if they are not taking you up on that offer, hey, it might be time for you to lead them in that last season for you to advance to your next season. You got to
Mm.
be okay with that. It's going to hurt. It's even a form of grief. People don't understand grief is not just about death. I
Right.
just did a powerful luncheon we just hosted over the weekend, renewing our resilience, managing life after loss, because loss comes in so many forms. It comes from loss of relationships, loss of friendships, loss of family, death, of course, loss of finances, loss of, stability, loss of confidence. There's so many levels of loss.
Mm.
So you have to say, I am ready to grieve
Yeah.
this level of loss, whatever it is that I'm losing or whatever it is I could potentially be losing.
Hmm.
And I got to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Not I
Mm.
got to be okay. I'm going to be okay
Mm.
because this is for my quality of life. This is for my holistic self. They might come around, but they might not. But you got
Mm.
to be okay with it either way it go.
Wow. Well, Coach, we are about to wrap up, and but before we do that, thank you for all those pieces that you shared. These
Oh,
wisdoms that
absolutely.
these wisdoms, you know what I mean.
You know we do.
These are wisdom's nuggets.
Right.
um, I was going to say that before we do that, I wanted to touch a little bit on the your entrepreneurial development as a woman, because
Yes.
you, hold up, let me pull this up real quick, because I'm gonna have to give you your flowers, my sister, real quick for those of y'all on here. Okay, so Coach Woods, and she's known as Coach K, but her name is Kisha Woods. She is an award winning coach specialized in personal transformation and entrepreneurial development. I can't even talk today. In Illinois, she's a motivational speaker. She has two podcasts. She has a local community women's advocate. There's also something that you had on here about the NAACP.
Yes, I'm a member of the NAACP.
Okay.
I'm a member. I'm on the board of the local NAMI affiliate here, which is the National Alliance of Mental Illness.
Okay.
I am a Better Business Bureau accredited business. I am a member of the National Alliance of Women Business Owners here in my state. So yeah, I'm definitely all about just advocating for us women, but advocating for us as a whole.
Man.
So whatever platforms that I can be on to, be a part of making a difference, not just for women, but I mean, I'm rocking with us to the end. Y'all know I'm rocking with us, okay? But I feel like once we are able to accept that from ourselves, then we'll be able to pour into others, and the society as a whole will benefit from that. Because ladies, we are phenomenal. We are amazing. We are so potentially dope. And I really want us to step into our confidence and understand that we do have obstacles, trials, tribulations, journeys, but they are all what make us who we are individually. And I just really want us all to embrace that and just be who we are authentically, period.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, your journey, where you are. I'm going to ask you at the end, because I want to ask you three personal questions.
Okay.
That's okay with you?
It is.
All right. All right. So tell me when to stop, because I'm going to do my little scroll on my questions, and go ahead.
Stop.
Okay. What was the most significant turning point in your life?
Ooh.
Okay.
A really 2020. Just being tired of my own bullshit.
Mm.
Being
Oof.
tired of my own bull, and just knowing that stepping into my authentic self of saying I have to do better for me, and that was the turning point, just being tired of pouring into others and not pouring into myself. So 2020 was my groundbreaking, pivotal, transformational. Like 2020 will always be my answer to that, because
Like you
that
tired
is
of being
when,
tired.
hey, I was tired of being tired.
Mm.
Period.
All right, Coach. Ready? Let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Do you have any regrets?
Not a one.
Ooh.
Not a one. And I don't, because I had to go through things to get where I am today.
Mm.
So I can't regret anything, because I'm truly living my best life, because I'm open minded and understanding that I am a forever learner.
Mm.
And I have no regrets. The losses, anything. I have no regrets on anything. So,
Mm.
period.
We did those things in order to create who we are now,
And
because
that's what it is.
yeah,
I had to deal with those things in order to step into who I am now and who I still want to become. So
period.
I
Period.
can't regret. I can't regret nothing at all.
I'm ready for the third question. Go.
Stop.
What have you learned from being in this field that people should know?
That I'm unapologetic as hell. Um, and that my unapologetic comes from my inner confidence,
Mm.
and just knowing that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm following in my purpose wholeheartedly, and knowing that everybody's not going to like it.
Mm,
Because starting off, I thought I wanted to appeal to everybody, but growing, I don't.
mm.
Because that's what makes me authentic. If everybody liked me, then I don't think I'd be authentic as I am, you know. So
Coach, do you think that when you begin to know who you are, that that builds your inner confidence?
you better believe it.
Okay.
That's where that inner confidence comes from, knowing who you are and standing on it 10 toes down. And
Mm.
no letting nobody deter you or make you question what it is that you doing. You know, nobody can tell me anything. Nobody can no. I'm gonna say take that back because I'm definitely a lifelong learner, but nobody can deter me from my purpose because
Mm.
I have put in the work to get here. So nobody can come to me and be like, "Oh, you suck as a coach." You know, if a client has an individual experience, 9 out of 10 times, it's because they wasn't willing to put in the work. So
Mm.
that's how I look at that.
That part, that part. I'm gonna give you a backstory on that, but we're gonna do that off.
Okay, okay.
So I want you to let people know where they can find you. But before you tell them all the handles and stuff, what are you up to these days? Do you have an event and stuff that's coming up? Like
So I did
any
just finish.
books?
Yep, I did just finish growth or I'm sorry, I did just finish renewing our resilience, which was a luncheon that I had here in my city. It was a women's empowerment luncheon in honor of Women's History Month. But I do have Growth Over Everything, and Growth Over Everything is a virtual meetup community that we meet every other Sunday and we talk about all things gratitude,
Mhm.
resilience, optimism, wellness, thriving, and happiness. And that's what growth stands for.
Okay.
It is a positive based community, whether we're talking about personal things, entrepreneurial things, but it's really just a space for us to be able to talk about personal development and growth. So those things are every other week, every other Sunday. It's a chill day, casual. Hey, I be on there sometimes still in my PJs. So, you know, just give you a level of comfort. And then I also have some upcoming events that'll be going on. I have a branding class that I will be hosting here in my community as well, branding brilliance, but I'll be bringing it virtually soon too. After I do the in-person one, I'm going to bring it virtual. And it's a free workshop just for, you know, women entrepreneurs as well to really establish, first of all, learn what a brand is, but also establish themselves as a brand because you have
Mm,
a business, but you have to make sure your brand is together within your
right.
business. So
You are
that's
the brand.
Hey, I'm definitely the brand, you know. So just working on those things. But then also just accepting clients right now, personal development, really just helping you transform how you look at yourself and transform your be so you can be able to embrace the journey that is uncomfortable transformation, but knowing that you have a purpose. You might have had a goal from 10 years ago that you have buried because you were a mom or you were, you know, somebody a wife, and you're a wife and you feel like that you can't have those things. I give you the tools to recondition your mindset so you can be more effective in acquiring those goals. And same thing for entrepreneurial development. We work on the real startup side of entrepreneurship, not just trying to get you a grant, y'all. There's a lot of things that go into starting a business, a lot of administrative stuff, and it's beyond the LLC. So I help women actually work on those things as well. Not only do I do it, help them with it, I teach them how to be able to be self sufficient as entrepreneurs and know when they need the help, when they don't. So just overall helping them be better versions of themselves as a person, as an individual, but especially as an entrepreneur because it all aligns together.
Coach, you said something like for women that have had their dreams buried because maybe they had to take care of family,
Yeah,
kids, whatever the reason was. Is it too late if their dreams are from 20 years
absolutely not.
ago?
Absolutely not. It's okay. And that's what we work on. And that's why I call it the purpose planning because we really sit down and brainstorm on what your ideal life looks like for you.
Mm,
You know, and because you have been doing this and being that supportive person for others, you weren't able to give that and pour into others what you want. You've suppressed it, you've hid it, and I'm going to help you bring that out. I'm going to help you say, hey, I'm doing what I want to do. You know, my kids are grown now. I'm an empty nester, so ain't nobody finna tell me, oh girl, your kids, no baby, my kids are grown. You know, and but even if they're not, there is still ways for you to be effectively thriving and growing and being emotionally and physically, spiritually satisfied overall, because that is going to allow you to live life better. We all want to live better lives. We don't have to live in havoc. We don't have to live in stress. You know, society tells us that when we're stressing and when we're working hard, we're getting things done, but you can work hard and still be stress free. I do it every day.
Coach, I don't think some people that are watching know that they're worthy of a better life.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I'm sure
And it's
you
just
help them with that
evolving.
mindset too. Yeah.
I definitely do. We get in that thing, we might cry together,
Mm.
but I'm that supportive person. I'm gonna send you a text message. I'm that coach. It goes beyond the session to me. I'm going to follow up with you. I'm going to check on you. I'm going to make sure you're good because again, I'm only doing what I wanted for me.
Mm. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. Please let everybody know where they can find you on all your handles, and I'll
Absolutely.
make sure to put that
Absolutely.
once
So
I
you can
download
find
the
me at Coach K Transforms on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn as Kisha Woods, but you can also URL to Coach K Transforms. My website is upgraded mindsets with the Z.life. So you can definitely find me over there. You can find out more about me, what I offer, the services that are available. My podcast information is the Upgraded Mindsets podcast channel on YouTube. It pulls up both Empowering Real Talk and the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. So if you are looking for any personal growth, any type of entrepreneurial development, definitely go subscribe to the Upgraded Mindsets podcast channel.
Well, thank y'all for joining us at Fran and Friend Podcast. I can't even talk about my own show. We'll
I
see
appreciate you
y'all.
having me. Thank you
We'll
for
see y'all
having
on the
me.
next show. Oh, you're welcome, Coach.
Bye,
Thank you so much.
y'all.
Appreciate your energy.